Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us for Access City Council. I'm your host, City of Las Vegas Communications Director David Riggleman. Coming up on this show, a new center in the medical district offers mental health services to youth, and a new fitness court opens at Woofter Family Park. We got to show it to you. Here to talk about these topics and a whole lot more is the councilman who represents Ward 1. You know who it is, Mr. Brian Knudsen. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Happy Pride Month. How's
Happy
it going?
Pride Month. I'm very prideful.
Okay, very good, as we all should be this time of year, exactly. Well, Councilman, you know Ward 1 very well. It's your stomping ground, but for those who don't, we're going to show them exactly where it is. The boundary's a little bit different. They changed right at the end of last year, but this is Ward 1 right now. If you live in this area or work in this area, then you are in the city limits of the city of Las Vegas. And of course, if you're a resident there, you're represented on the city council by Councilman Brian Knudsen.
If you look at the picture of Ward 1, it looks like a reindeer or a llama. So you could live in the reindeer or the llama. The antlers or the tail is there too.
Either one, works for me. I like both of them. So, well, one of the things in Ward 1 is the medical district, and I know that is something that you have worked very hard to help nurture and grow and develop. And we're making progress over there. This is pretty cool. You posted this on Facebook. You said, congratulations to the UNLV Practice Satellite Clinic for its soft opening. Now tell us about this place.
So this is a mental health organization that's part of UNLV, and it's a combination of the department or the School of Education and the School of Liberal Arts and the School of Psychology. So 3 different departments come together to provide mental health services for youth in our community. They've been looking to expand, and by partnering with me really in the city of Las Vegas, they found a spot in the medical district through a generous family, the Shears, who live in the Scotch 80s, made a donation to make it possible. And while I can't say a whole lot more, it's just the beginning. There's going to be a whole lot more mental health resources in the medical district, and I'm excited. Probably in the next couple of shows, I'll be able to share with the rest of the community how we're going to expand upon mental health resources, especially for youth within our community.
You know, Councilman, that is so important. I've heard parents for many years talk about there are no services, or there were limited services in Las Vegas for youth with mental health issues. We really experienced that during the pandemic, where a lot of issues arose that probably wouldn't have had we not been in the pandemic, but they certainly did. And parents didn't have anywhere to turn. So this is a huge, huge breakthrough for Las Vegas.
This is really important, and like I said, it's just the beginning, and you're right, I can testify there is very little resources for children and mental health services for children. And so that's going to be one of the things that I really focus in on over the next couple of years while I'm serving in office.
Councilman, if people want to get connected with this new satellite clinic, what should they do? Should they contact the university, or?
It's the UNLV, the practice, and if you type it into Google, I've typed it in many times, it'll pop up, it'll give you the phone number. I can tell you right now they already have a waiting list. And so it's good to get on that waiting list so that when services become available. And I think as a community, we really need to start identifying how many people are on this waiting list, because we need to grow these services relatively quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're doing great work. It's very important, and is a huge need that has been in our community for many years. So good, that's great news to hear. And also over in your ward, people are going to be seeing some new signage, some new monument signs. Tell us about what's going on with this.
Far more controversial for me are signage. And so this is an opportunity for me to let everyone know what I'm thinking and how it came about. We've talked about the construction that's going to happen in the medical district over the last couple of years. We're getting close. So Charleston will be under construction in the next several months, and Rancho between 95 and Sahara under construction for a year, 2-year time period. So for all those neighborhoods where there's a potential for people to cut through to avoid the construction, we're trying to make sure that they know it's a residential neighborhood. And so we had a Public Works Department design the signs. The medians are in right now. They're yellow curbing. They're going to have rock. They're going to have little sculptures in it.
Councilman's rendition of what they're going to look like.
So each of the neighborhoods along Rancho will have these signs. It has created a little bit of controversy because some people don't like the way it looks. Some people don't like the word historic on the sign. So what I'm going to let everyone know is my number one priority, the council's number one priority, is public safety. The traffic engineering department within the city of Las Vegas believes this is a good way to mitigate cut-through traffic and potentially bring down some of the potential traffic accidents within that area.
And these folks know what they're doing, Councilman. I mean, this is their business, and if they're saying it's going to work, I'm sure it will.
Yes. So for everyone watching, I know that there's a lot of feelings around how the signs came about. I take full responsibility. I trust the city staff. We're putting the signs in, and I'm going to do everything in my power to mitigate any traffic accidents.
You know, I think people are going to like the signs too. I mean, that's a nice design.
You got to give it a minute. I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, I think so too. Those are actually pretty nice, and to set each neighborhood kind of apart, I think that's nice. People want to know, well, I live here, I live there. That's nice.
Yes.
So, well, anyway, good luck with that. And if you have comments,
the most controversial part of my job, I can take it.
The signs. Well, before the end of the show, we'll tell everybody if you have thoughts on that, we'll have to tell you how to get in touch with the councilman. So, one thing we're very excited about too, our Tech Alley event. This is something we've worked very hard on here at the city. Celebrate an anniversary, our first anniversary. This is where we give startups, tech startups, an opportunity to get jump started. And we focused on women this last time, right?
Correct. So this is Elizabeth Lopez in Economic and Urban Development has really fostered this community of tech startups within the downtown core. At this event, there was probably 200 to 300 people. They've gotten a lot of support from the city of Las Vegas for the tech startup community, including 2 tech innovation labs that we have in downtown Las Vegas. But because of ARP funding, the city put in probably close to $1 million in helping to jumpstart the tech community within Las Vegas. And so I'm happy to work alongside the Economic and Urban Development Department and Ms. Lopez in particular and celebrate how Las Vegas is transforming itself overnight to becoming a tech hub.
People don't know that. They think, well, we've got tourism here and tourism, and we have tourism, but we are becoming a tech focus.
Yes.
And a lot of companies from California uprooting, coming here. Also, people are trying to get started. It's going to be easier to get started in Nevada maybe than some other places as well. So very attractive to locate here. We've got a couple of innovation centers. Both of them are full. So,
yes. And just last month, well, it was probably 2 months ago now, I drove around downtown in a loop in an automated vehicle, and the person driving the car was sitting in our tech lab. And so there's a whole lot of innovation. There's actually an article in the newspaper last week where they talk about how this tech innovation, where somebody sits at a video game console and drives a vehicle around, and it's a lot more efficient. That's going to start here. It'll probably expand here in Las Vegas as well.
Well, it's exciting stuff. That's cutting edge all the way around. So, well, very good. We're excited about that. And then you had a safety event. As public safety, obviously one of the council's priorities. The other priority being economic redevelopment and healthcare. And you touch all of those a lot. But we had a senior safety event over at Sartini Plaza. For those who don't know, Councilman, Sartini Plaza is basically a retirement.
It's a housing authority project with low-income seniors, and it's right off of there at Charleston and Brush Street. It's right behind the Charleston Heights Art Center, and so we spent a lot of time there. We do bingo there, and we do holiday meals there. Dorian from my office was at the safety event, but it was really sponsored by the Las Vegas Fire and Rescue and our Department of Public Safety. Metro is there, and it's to make sure that the seniors are connected to those 911 resources. So the fire department really kind of initiated that and made sure that those seniors had a way to communicate what their medications are. That's one of the biggest challenges that paramedics have, is when they roll in to help somebody who can't speak for themselves, knowing what medications they're on and make sure that information gets communicated appropriately to the hospital. How do they do that,
Councilman? Is there something that they wear, or?
So the fire department's giving them things to put on their fridge, and then they can list all their medications down.
Gotcha.
So it becomes a standard practice. When they roll in, they look to the fridge to find out what medications they're on.
There you go. You learn something every day. So that's great. That's actually very smart. So
simple things.
Yeah, simple things. Yeah. Well, excellent on that. Way to go, fire department. We appreciate that. And then, if we're going to talk about fire, we can't forget about the police department. And so it's pretty cool. You did a ride-along, my understanding is.
I do a lot of ride-alongs. So I've done Spring Valley and Bolden. I need to do Summerlin. That's the one I haven't done yet.
All right.
Bolden is my most regular. It encompasses the most part of my ward. But the last one I did was with Officer Piffner. He's with the community engagement team.
You posted that on Facebook. You said, thank you to Officer Piffner of Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, Bolden Area Command, for having me ride along and learn about the work that you do. And here he is.
So in the background, you can see a car that's tipped over. The driver is totally fine. He got out of the car. He walked away. But it's an example of we have some pretty bad drivers here. And so the guy, I felt badly for him as his car had just rolled over. He was fine, but he would be an example of a bad driver. So he overcorrected, spun his car around. Police, fire, we had to get the sewer, city's public works department involved because he knocked a sewer grate off. a whole lot of commotion for bad driving. So that's
Wow.
my reminder to everyone out there is slow down, pay attention to what's around you, follow the
Here.
traffic rules, and don't end up like that guy.
Yeah, I think too, it just kind of underscores the fact that our first responders, they never know what they're going to deal with. Every day they go to work, it could be anything and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And most of us, we go to work each day, we pretty much know what we're going to expect. But for those guys and women, it's a whole different game.
And Officer Piffner was telling me his dream is to go around catching bad guys. Right now, getting back to the mental health, a lot of their jobs, especially in the day shift, is kind of dealing with people who are struggling with mental health issues. And so that's what I take away every ride along is I need to build out that mental health system so that the cops can focus in on bad guys.
Well, you're obviously listening. You're obviously listening because we're making some progress there. Councilman, as far as Metro and their coordination with the city, talk a little bit about that. We work closely with them. They're a separate entity, separate elected sheriff, but we work very closely because the city and the county fund Metro.
Yeah, and I think what my experience is Metro really recognizes that it's a community-wide effort that will improve public safety. So for unfortunately, every murder that happens, I get texted. When there's severe incidents, the captain reaches out. We brainstorm around how the city can do a better job at traffic engineering or how the city can provide community resources to bolster that sense of pride in a community so that there's less police enforcement on the back end. But I work really closely with the Metropolitan Police Department, as does every one of the colleagues here on City Council, because it's a joint effort. We all have a role to play in making sure we're all safe.
And I know you said public safety is one of the City Council's top priorities. It's because it's the communities. One of the community's top priorities is making sure that neighborhoods are safe, traffic laws are being enforced, and that if you need help, it gets to you when you need it. So. Well, very good. And then, Councilman, I love this. Fitness is important. We all know that there's probably a little more we can do to stay healthy and stay fit, and we're helping. Because you posted this on Facebook. You said, thank you to everyone who joined us for the Woofter Family Park new fitness court ribbon cutting. There it is.
And that's it. Yeah, Woofter Family Park, that community asked for more fitness equipment. And so right there in the middle of it, if you need to go get a workout, it's free. There's an app that you can download to help you figure out what the workout could look like. It's a great place for that. And I'm really appreciative of Steve Ford, who's the director of Parks and Recreation now, and the Parks and Rec team for allowing that to happen. I think it's a great amenity for that area.
Councilman, tell everybody what it does. I mean, how does this thing work? It's a big deal and it's pretty neat, but if they don't know how it works, kind of explain it a little bit.
So it's like a CrossFit type equipment, and so if you're so inclined, you can download the app, and I can't remember the name of the company, so it'll come to me at some point. But you download the app, and it's right there on the equipment,
Yeah, it tells
so you can just go there and see it. And then it walks you through like a 30, 45-minute workout using all of the equipment there.
Yeah.
So if you want to work out 3 to 5 times a week and you don't want to go to a gym, you got a park, you got a public facility there you can go to, and it's all right there. You got rings and pull-up bars and step-up bars, and put on some tunes and get your workout in.
Exactly. Get out some fresh air too, and not have to worry about being in a crowded space inside.
And we just last year we rebuilt the dog park there, so if you want to let your dog run around while you work out, it's a perfect fit.
See, look at that, all in Ward 1. Very good. Hey, Councilman, tell everybody where Woofter Park, if they're not familiar, where's the general location of it?
So how I get to it is I go to Rainbow, and then I turn north on Rainbow off of the 95, and then I turn left on Vegas, and then there's a street where there's apartments right past the overpass there, and the park's right there.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the name of that street.
Is it Tenaya Way?
Nope, not even close.
Not even close.
Nope. But there's apartment complex, Vegas, and Rainbow. You'll find it there.
Yeah.
There's an elementary school right there. It's
Katz McMillan.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're right there. It's 2 elementary schools. Yeah,
Two elementary
one is Katz
schools,
and one is McMillan.
and a dog park, and now a fitness court right there.
We redid the dog park too. We did a big renovation of the dog park. I live not too far from there. I've had my dog in that park. She's run around there.
I spent 10 years bringing my dogs there every Saturday and Sunday morning.
Yeah.
So I'm very familiar with it. My dogs, one of them now is a little bit too old to go out.
Yeah. So, well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm sure that you're still making sure that the dog's having a good time. Exactly.
He's happy.
All right. And then, Councilman, I love this too. We want to make sure that people stay healthy, not only just physically, but also in their diet. And so you posted this on Facebook. You said the Just One Project hosted a free farmers market at their main campus where hundreds of people were able to pick up fresh produce. And so explain this to everyone.
So the Just One Project is a food distributor. They get a lot of their food from 3 Square, but they've grown enormously especially during the pandemic, to provide a number of services. So Brooke is the CEO. She's the woman I was there talking with. Once a month they do a walkthrough, not a food pantry, but a place where people pick up fresh fruits and vegetables. And there was hundreds of people in line for that. And so it gives them the dignity to walk through. There's recipes there. They can identify the specific things they need in order to meet their recipe needs. And then there's access to mental health resources, housing resources. At that particular time, we were talking to a young woman there who they put through somewhat of a social service mental health camp. And she was talking about how she was just terrified to go out in public, didn't want to wear pretty clothes, didn't appreciate who she was. And the Just One Project helped her to establish a peer group, a friend group, get in some regular mental health counseling. And so she was talking, this young person was talking about how she just finished her high school GED program, was enrolling in college, and had found a group of friends, and she felt pretty again and started wearing dresses again. And so that's what you establish fresh fruits and vegetables, you establish food for people, they immediately start going on to that next layer where they start establishing their peer group and shelter. Food is the beginning, shelter is the beginning. Everything else will happen after that.
Yeah. Councilman, you recognized the Just One Project at a recent city council meeting, I recall.
I did. They need to be recognized. I think it was about 6 months ago now. I think it's an amazing organization in our community. Dorian from my office serves on their board of directors, and so I've had a lot of access to see what they do, how they do it, with whom they work with. It's really impressive. Talk
more about their mission. What are they trying to accomplish versus what some of the other nonprofits are doing?
So I think it's in the title, Just One. It just takes one interaction, it just takes one person, and you can immediately switch a person's life around. And I think that's what gets lost, is especially on a policy discussion, we're talking about broad-based systems. But really, what I tell people is, for children in particular, and Just One Project has seniors and youth that they focus in on, you just have to make that person feel loved. And if someone feels loved, it's amazing what ambition they will come up with to go out and find those fresh fruits and vegetables. And once you're fed and you have shelter is the next big important part, then you go out and try to find the resources you need to meet that mission in your life, whatever that feeling productive looks like. And so Just One Project is taking care of all of those things for a large number of people.
Well, good for them.
The pop-up market, the food distribution is a way to bring people in to say, look, we can take care of food in our community. It's there. Let's try to align you with housing resources, because once you get food and housing, then we can try to set up your schedule so that you can get access to employment. You can get access to maybe mental health or prescriptions or a physician. And once you have that, everything else becomes easier.
They're kind of putting you in the pipeline, with, if so to speak, with the first step being food, and then going from there. So, and
just along their mission or their name of their organization, it just takes one interaction to get you brought into a system.
Is their office physically located in Ward 1?
They are in Ward 5.
In Ward 5. Okay, so close, but close by.
They're right near. Yeah, but they provide services throughout the community. And
I'm sure.
I'm sure people have seen the pink cart with the Just One. And they're driving their trucks all over the valley, bringing food to people.
Yeah. I have seen them out there more than a few times. That's great. Well, speaking of bringing things to people, you posted this on Facebook. You said, I delivered a new piano for Jamestown Towers Senior Building. 87-year-old Jesse has been playing since he was a child and now enjoys playing the piano for all the residents to enjoy. And there's the piano. Yeah, so there's 2 pianos there. The one is the player piano, so that one was broken. We tried getting it tuned up, but it didn't stay tuned up. And so I had the second piano was actually in my house, and my kids were playing, but we weren't using it right now, and so we figured we could give it to somebody who's going to use it more than we were. That's awesome.
And if you get a chance to go to Jamestown Towers, you should, because he's a great piano player. So he opens up all of our events now. And so he does the hidey, 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 hi, and he does it really well. So it's really cool.
So now, was he a professional in his career?
He was a professional. He was a Vegas performer. And so he's there at Jamestown, entertaining everybody.
See, and he hasn't lost the edge. That's awesome. Well, Councilman, I have the sense that we have some special guests that you'd like to introduce that may be
These are
with
the
us.
craziest people I know.
The craziest people that Councilman knows. All right, woohoo! Welcome.
You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Andrew, and I'm 6 years old. And this is my sister. She's a bit nervous today, and I hope everybody has a great day with their dads.
That's awesome. You just made your dad's day, week, month, year, I think.
Yeah, I did.
Well, Andrew, can you tell us what grade are you in?
Well, my mom was going to be in first grade.
Wow, coming up. So you just finished kindergarten, huh? How'd
But
you like it?
I'm at summer camp, and they let me play video games there.
That's a summer camp I would like to go to. They made me like swim in row canoes and stuff like that, paddle canoes. But it was kind of fun too.
Yeah, but did you have video games there?
In my day, no. We didn't even have computers, Andrew, because I'm kind of old. But no, didn't have any of that stuff. None. We had TVs. That was about it. So. And then now, what's Kate doing? Is she, Kate? Are you at camp this summer too?
Yeah, but she's a little nervous today. No, I'm not. There
See.
you are. You're like this much. A little.
Well, Councilman, you have to be very proud. These are very fine children that you have here. And guys, thanks for coming and being on the show with us today,
You're welcome.
supporting your dad. So you're on summer break, no school, school's out.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm on
Yep.
I'm on summer
Love it.
camp. And I go to a circus sometimes with my dad, but it's kind of like a fake. Okay, I'm lying.
But it's a great idea. That's
There's a lot of imagination
put
there,
dad,
David.
put
Yes.
dad on the spot. So I think a circus needs to be kind of in the future here.
We have
I'm just thinking.
little peanuts there.
They do.
We
I
have
love those.
I have very special days for them this week that they don't know about, so it's going to be a secret. But on Thursday, I'm taking Kate out, and on Friday, I'm taking Andrew out.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
And this is the beginning of Pride Month, so this is what I'm most proud of. This is the craziest part of my life. And when I show up at events and I have yogurt on my shoes and ketchup on my shirt, it's because of this right here.
Well.
And I wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, that is spoken as a true parent, Councilman.
So the
because
beginning of Pride Month.
what's
So
better?
my husband and I have been married for 17 years, and we got to adopt Andrew 6 years ago. We got to adopt Kate 4 years ago, and this is it. This is life.
And I want to tell everybody that's watching this, I already, my mom just couldn't take care of me, so my dad took me. My dad's took me in.
Well,
I have two dads named Brian.
And see, that's easy to remember, right? You just Brian. Just remember Brian, and you're good, So, and you love your dads, don't you? Very
Yep.
much. Yeah, I know you do. I know Kate does too. So,
We're a little crazy.
well, you know what? That's a good family.
After this, I'm going to Camp Catan. I'm going to go to summer camp at Las Vegas Station.
Well, that sounds pretty fun to me. That sounds pretty fun. Kate, you're going to camp too? Do you like camp? Do you like it?
We had art today, so
You can see the art on her shoulder.
Yes, it's
right here, everybody.
that means you
Whoever
were
watching this.
that means you were participating. You were being part of the class. That's
Get
good.
away.
Well, Councilman, you should be very proud, as you said, and I totally understand why these are very fine young people. And so, you two, thank you so much for being on with us today. It's a pleasure to have you here. Would you like to come back maybe in the future?
Huh?
Yeah, that'd be great. Maybe we'll make it a tradition.
Maybe every summer.
Exactly. Every summer at the beginning, we'll have you come in. So,
What do you say, Kate?
Thank you.
you guys are welcome. Just stay right there. Just stay right there a second. We're going to tell everybody that, hey, if you'd like to get in touch with the councilman, we always want to hear from you. So if you have something you'd like to share with the councilman, maybe monument signs and stuff, you can always find him on Facebook and Twitter. You can also contact the councilman and his staff by picking up the phone, 702-229-6405, or send him an email at bknutson, with an E, right, Andrew?
Yeah.
That's right, at LasVegasNevada.gov, and he or one of his great staff, Dorian or Maria, they will get right back to you and take care of what you need. So, Andrew, how do you remind everybody how to spell Knutson? You were telling me earlier. How do you do it?
It's Knutson, S-E-N.
S-E-N, yeah, exactly. So that's just always a good thing to remind people so they don't get an S-O-N on there. Very good.
Yeah.
So,
But can I tell everybody who's watching this?
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's not Knutson. It's Knutson, S-E-N.
Yes.
Good reminder.
Very specific, and we like that. All right. Well, listen, thank you guys both very much. Councilman, thank you so much.
Thank you,
we'll
David.
Have you back in 6 weeks with another update from Ward 1.
You're welcome.
In the meantime, happy Pride Month, everyone. And folks, don't miss our next show beginning on June 16th with Ward 3 City Councilwoman Olivia Diaz. You can now catch all of our KCLV shows on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire. And watch for our QR code during the closing credits of this show to subscribe to our newsletter. Also, don't forget you can watch us live on the internet at kclv.tv. Thank you for watching us, everyone. We'll see you next time around.